Unfortunately, safety concerns became an issue, and the circuit had to be reconfigured to its now just over 4-mile layout in the 1980s. As we take a look at our pit entrance right now, we see these drivers lining up because we are going to be heading into qualifying here in just a few minutes as these drivers get set. All right, and now we are about to get underway here shortly as we take a look at this beautiful Belgian racetrack, getting some scenic views. All right, 1, 2, 3. Check, check, check. Check, 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 check. Come on. Okay. One, two, three. Can you hear me, Chris? All right. Okay, sounds like we are back up and running. So I apologize for the technical difficulties there, folks, but once again, welcome back. We are currently in qualifying for the Autobahn. This is the fourth race in the Autobahn iRacing series. If you're just joining us, we are at Spa in Belgium, the treacherous 4-mile track that features the infamous En Rouge. And if you look in the upper left-hand corner, you will see the Autobahn members as they start their qualifying sessions. Looks like there's about 4 minutes remaining in qualifying, with the current leader, I believe that is Christian Weir, who is currently out in front. You'll see the leaderboard in the upper left-hand corner of your screen. All right, and just to help you out as you're watching, in the upper left-hand corner, that's the leaderboard. If the name is in yellow, that is the car that the camera will be focusing on, and it will be jumping around, getting you all the action that this race provides. And also you'll see the numbers next to the drivers' names. That is their current position. So once again, Christian Weir is still out in front. Second place is car number 99 of Connor Willis. Samuel Bowman sitting in third so far, with Brian Helmentoller and Mantis rounding out your top 5. So, you didn't catch it before. We are currently at Spa, which is in Belgium, and it is definitely motorsport's most storied venues. The home of the Belgian Grand Prix, the 24 Hours of Spa, and the Spa 1000. Spa has long been recognized as the supreme test of courage and skill. The roll call of winning drivers at this storied track include Michael Schumacher, Pedro Rodriguez, Jimmy Clark, Jackie Ickx, Fangio, and Ayrton Senna, along with Dan Gurney, just to name a few. Now, for me personally, the height of Spa goes all the way back to the 1970s, when safety concerns were not up to date as they are now, and where top speeds were just eye-wateringly fast. Looking at the overall lap record, the average speed, I'm sorry, was 163 miles an hour, set back in 1973. But safety concerns caused the track to reconfigure to its current 4-mile layout back in the 1980s. So the new Spa features a more demanding and purpose-built section that sweeps down a valley through the fast curve and leading up to the S's before rejoining the old circuit. So You've got a little bit of the old and the new. All right, qualifying is just about complete. And there we have it. You look at the leaderboard. Christian Weir out in front. Connor Willis nipping at his heels right behind him in that number 99 car. As we wait for the results to come in, see who is in third place. Looks like Samuel Bowman takes third, and Brian Helmentoller in fourth, and Mantis in fifth. So it's going to be a very unique start. Now, what we're doing tonight, folks, is we are actually going to be having a standing start. So these drivers are going to have to slip that clutch and put down all that power that these Nissans have as they head into turn one. So talking a little bit more about this track, there are 19 turns. I already talked about the world famous En Rouge. Then you then you're going to be heading uphill, downhill, all around the track. So it's going to be a very it's going to be basically a dogfight between all of these drivers. As you see, the checkered flag is out. And these drivers will be lining up for the start of the race just momentarily. There's a beautiful shot of En Rouge. All right, as we are about to begin the race, definitely tell your friends, share this link to the YouTube page, like and subscribe, and let your friends know so this way they can tune in and watch you on the big screen. All right, we are moments away from the green flag. This is going to be a 50-minute dogfight here at Spa as the drivers are lining up. It is going to be a standing start as we wait for that green flag to wave. Looks like we're going to have a total of 9 racers in this evening's race. We do this every 2 weeks here, and we pick different cars, different tracks. So you're definitely going to want to tune in, or better yet, join in on all the racing action. Green flag is waved as these drivers are off. They again are driving the Nissan GTP ZX Turbos. These were very infamous cars back in the 80s and 90s as they head into turn one. All right, now we are watching the battle for second place. Looks like Connor Willis is definitely opening up a gap in that number 99, but the camera is loving the battle that is happening between number 7 of Samuel Bowman and number 20 of Zach Kubinski. They battle it out on the go-kart track, but also here on virtual iRacing as well. So it's definitely fun to watch those drivers. And it looks like car number 6 of Christian Weir also mixing things up as well. He's going to throw his hat in the ring as he's looking towards the outside of the number 20 of Christian Weir. Oh, and unfortunately, number 6 of Christian Weir and number 20 of Zach Kubinski gets tangled up, and both of them sliding around as we're currently watching Zach Kubinski trying to get back onto the racing surface. Looks like he's just trying to put too much power down in that wet grass, causing that back end just to come right around. But now he's back up, and don't worry, there's plenty of time left in this race. As you can see in the upper left-hand corner, there's about 40 minutes remaining in this race. All right, and there is the number 20 of Zach Kubinski. He's going to be clawing his way back up into the position he previously had as he was battling it out for second and third place, respectively. Unfortunately, just got tangled up, and that put him towards the back of the pack. And almost contact with the wall. I was able just to manage to stay out of that Armco. All right, as we get a little better look at our leaderboard, you'll see number 99 of Connor Willis out in front has his fastest lap of 2:07.4. That is, again, opening up that gap between number 7 of Samuel Bowman. Bowman being very clean and very smooth through this drive so far. And Brian Helmentolder moving into the third slot as well in that number 8 car. But don't count out Mike Anzaldi in number 9. He has been very consistent throughout this entire series. And you're definitely going to want to keep an eye on him as well. So we currently have 8 drivers out on track right now. Connor Willis still in the lead, opening up his lead as well, as he is putting the power down and just opening up a gap. And you'll see that it is an 11-second gap between first and second place. So still anybody's race, still a whole lot of time left to go. But right now, Connor Willis Can't put it in cruise control just yet, but he's been doing very well for himself. I know he's been practicing all week, really wanting to win this race. All right, and if you look over towards the comment section, Autobahn's very own Iceman tuning in. Thank you for watching. Uh, Can't wait to see you racing. But yes, next week we will be driving radicals at Suzuka over in the land of the rising sun. So that is going to be very interesting. And it's going to be very interesting to watch the Iceman perform as well. He has been our podium finisher for quite some time. So you're going to want to tune in 2 weeks' time, next Tuesday, or Tuesday, March 9th at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time to watch that race. That is going to be the 5th out of 6 races in the Autobahn iRacing series. So right now we're watching Mantis and Zach Kubinski battle it out. Mantis with a big off, unfortunately. He's got that bright purple and yellow Nissan, so that you'll definitely be able to see him in your rearview mirror. He was looking to get around Zach Kabinski, but Zach just stuck on his line. It looks like Mantis was hard on the brakes a little too late and went straight off the racing surface. All right, so Connor Willis still with that fastest lap. Samuel Bowman with a 2:10 and Brian Halmentoller with a 2:12. So all within about 2 seconds of each other, but Connor Willis still opening up that very large gap between first and second, which is now just over 14 seconds. So as the crowd starts thinning out, um, looks like Samuel has a about 20-second lead, or yeah, 20-second lead over Brian Helmentoller. So things are getting stretched out, but fear not, we still have about 35 minutes remaining in this race. All right, we're going to jump around a little bit. We are now watching All Eyes on Brian Helmentoller in that number 8 blue and red car. So I think next time we're going to make these drivers get a little creative with their liveries on these race cars so that way we can tell everybody apart. But so this is Brian Helmentoller currently chasing down. Is that the number 99 of Connor Willis? Let's see. There we go. It looks like, unfortunately, Brian coming out of that last corner, getting on the power a little bit too much, causing that back end to come around on him. He was able to keep it out of the walls, but he's going to have to make up some ground on number 9, Mike Anzaldi. So about 7 seconds of a difference between those two drivers. They were having a very good battle until that little mishap from the big man, Brian Helmentoller himself. And there he is again, kind of tiptoeing his way around these corners. Can't make that same mistake twice. Otherwise, that's really going to cost him. And this just in, unfortunately, Samuel Bowman was brought in. He was black flagged for having too many four wheels off the racing surfaces. So he's going to serve his penalty and hopefully come back out. But he was currently in second place. So that is going to cost him. Let's see if Mike Anzaldi can capitalize on that penalty. And while we're at it, let's just take a moment and appreciate the beauty of these Nissan GTP cars. Just absolutely gorgeous. They were handfuls to drive, as you can see back then, and still are. So it's great to see them on such a classic circuit, such as Spa, and back out ripping around on the track. These things were just so much fun to watch in years prior, and it's good to see them back out here. So the Iceman brought up a very good point about points as well, championship points. So again, every race counts in this racing season. There are 6 races. And the current leader is actually the Iceman himself with 2 overall wins. In second place is Connor Willis, who is our current leader. So that is definitely going to shake up the point standings. and give the Iceman a run for his money. Mike Anzaldi, kind of the dark horse. He has been very consistent in coming out and racing and has done very well for himself, and that is why he is in third place right now in overall in the championship standings. So I mentioned that this is the fourth race. The first race we had was at Road America, driving the brand new Corvette C8s. Then we went down to Barber in the Porsche Caymans, and we jumped across the pond, went to Monza, where we were in Pro Mazdas, and now we're staying on that side of the big old lake here and at Spa in Belgium. So after this race, like I mentioned earlier, we will be headed over to the land of the rising sun in Japan and be racing the very famous Radicals at Suzuka. And then we're going to be coming back to the good old US of A to cap out the season at the Indianapolis for the Autobahn 100 race. So, whole lot of fun. And then at the end of the iRacing series, that means only one thing, that real racing returns to Autobahn Country Club. Opening day is April 1st. That is not an April Fool's joke, folks. That is going to be our opening day, so you can come on out and try this out for real at Autobahn Country Club. All 3.56 miles is going to be open for your driving pleasure this season. As we look to the leaderboard, uh, it is true. Mike Anzaldi was able to capitalize on Samuel Bowman's black flag, and he slides into second place. Brian Helmentoller trying to whittle away uh, the gap between second and third, about 10 seconds dictates between those two. So he is working very hard to see if he can catch back up to the number 9 of Mike Anzaldi. But so far, Connor Willis still out in front, hasn't been able to best his fastest lap time of 2:07, but that still is the fastest lap of the race so far. And he's got a comfortable 26, almost 27-second lead over second place. But also, if you look at the intervals between drivers, Samuel Bowman catching back up to Brian Helmentoller in that number 8. So if you look right behind him, there he is. There's Samuel Bowman. He is on a tear, and he is going to be looking at the tailpipes of Brian Helmentoller. And let's see in the next couple of minutes if Samuel's able to get around Brian Helmentoller. And you can listen in. You can hear Brian kind of tiptoeing around that last corner. That is where he spun before, but Samuel Bowman trying to capitalize on it. So Brian looking very good through En Rouge, but also shooting right up behind him is Samuel Bowman. And he is closing that gap. Only 1.5 seconds determines third and fourth place. So I don't know if Brian can feel the heat of Samuel breathing down the back of his neck just yet. But if he takes a look in his rearview mirrors, he's going to see the headlights of the little racer behind him. So this is going to be interesting, folks. Still, a whole lot of race remains. This is a 50-minute race. We're coming up to the 28th minute. So still a lot of action to be had. Oh boy, here we go, folks. This is getting good. Down to 7/10 of a second between these two drivers. Brian Helmentoller out in front. Whoa, Samuel going a little wide there. That's going to cost him just ever so slightly, but is he able to carry some speed through the next set of corners? And yeah, look at that. He pulls in right behind him, getting that draft, that beautiful wedge shape. And he looked to the inside. Can he make it stick going around? Brian Helmentoller looks like he does. So a beautiful, clean pass by the youngster Samuel Bowman, putting that karting experience to good use. Youth trumps age. But Samuel kicking the rear end out a little bit. And now Brian Helmetoller is looking to track down the youngster and see what he can do. And also, folks, there's something to be said that if you look at this field, three of these racers, uh, unfortunately, don't have their racing licenses for the big track. That's because they are kart racers, and yet they are showing great maturity here in the iRacing series and showing everybody that they too have the skills needed to compete in this very challenging series. Connor Willis still out in front. Again, he is a kart racer. For the past couple of years, has done very well for himself. Kind of out of the nowhere, he took some. He took the Autobahn licensing school for the kart licensing, and started automatically winning races and being one of the fastest karters out there. So maybe the big track is in his future. Only time will tell. But also Samuel Bowman as well. He's a karter and also very quick in iRacing. And number 20 of Zach Kabinski, a karting champion for many years in a row. So lot of experience with very little age. And the Iceman chiming in that he races Samuel Bowman uh, outside the Autobahn iRacing series. I believe he's talking about karts, where Iceman too is a karting champion as well, and now is dipping his toes in our Spec Miata series, and has had some very respectable finishes there, and we look forward to seeing him return this year. And there is Zach Kabinski chiming in. Unfortunately, he and Christian Weir got together in a racing incident, and it
proved costly for both of those drivers. Uh, but the great thing about iRacing is that you can always hit the reset button and do it all again next week. And it's a lot less expensive on the old pocketbook in iRacing. So, speaking of making costly mistakes, Brian Helmenthaler locking up the brakes and sliding off the racing line. See if that warped the brakes or flat spotted the tires. So far, it looks pretty good as he was trying to chase down Samuel Bowman, but that's going to open up the gap between those two drivers to just over 5.4 seconds. As the clock is winding down, we have almost 15 minutes remaining in this race. Still, Connor Willis out in front, opening up his lead by 27 seconds so far over the number 9 of Mike Anzaldi. All right, with the clock winding down, uh, let's talk about some fun facts about Spa, which actually isn't located in Spa, Belgium. So it's actually just outside of it. But unsurprisingly, Michael Schumacher holds the record with 6 total victories at Spa in Formula One. Next on the list is my personal favorite, Ayrton Senna, who won 5 races between 1985 and 1991. Also, Jim Clark won 4 straight races in the old layout way back in 1962 to 1965. But current drivers, Kimi Raikkonen has the most victories, matching Jim Clark's total of 4. And Sebastian Vettel is the only other multiple winner on the grid, taking 2011 and 2013 Belgian Grand Prix. So interesting stuff about these drivers and this track. So all right, we're gonna jump on over and check out the number 7 of Samuel Bowman, currently sitting in third place. His fastest lap time was 2:10, so it was matching Mike Anzaldi's time, but Mike Anzaldi's fastest lap was 2:09, so he's starting to whittle things away on the current leader of Connor Willis with a 2:07 fastest lap time. But Samuel Bowman again was able to get around the number 8 of Brian Helmentoller and now sets his sights on Anzaldi. So as we watch him go through almost pretty much flat out through En Rouge, which is uh, probably one of the biggest accomplishments any driver can say, is that they took En Rouge flat out, that very fast left, right, left sequence without lifting the throttle as you're climbing up that hill. Very treacherous and requires a great deal of skill in order to do that. And the best place to practice is right here in iRacing. All right. As we go around, we're now watching Mike Anzaldi as he is just tearing up this racetrack, but sitting comfortably in second place. And let's see him work his magic as he slices and dices these corners. As the clock is winding down, we have 43 out of 50 minutes have expired. So just over 5 minutes remain in this race. And your current leader is number 99 of Connor Willis. Second place is number 9 of Mike Anzaldi that we're watching right there on the big screen. Samuel Bowman is sitting in third place with Brian Helmentoller in fourth, and Mantis comfortably sitting in fifth place, unfortunately with one lap down from the current leader. Oh, a little bit of a hiccup there coming from Anzaldi's car. Not quite sure what that was, if he was just accidentally let off the throttle or had a misshift. But he's having a whole lot of fun being flat out through on Rouge. Oh, with just under 5 minutes remaining, looks like Connor Willis is going to have to pit for fuel. So we're going to find out if he can do it in under 28.8 seconds and get out before Mike Anzaldi. So this is going to become a nail biter here, folks. Definitely going to want to be on the edge of your seat for this. And we're going to jump on over. Let's take a look at Connor Willis. Did he pit already? Nah, he couldn't have. So there's the number 99. And he's going to be needing to take on fuel, or is he going to try and make it all the way to the finish line? And Samuel Bowman also having to pit for fuel as well. Ooh, Connor with an excellent move getting around the number 21 of Andrew T as he spins, making sure not to collect himself in that and cost him an easy victory. Actually, no, I take that back. It's not going to be an easy victory because it is going to come down to pit stops. So there's Samuel Bowman getting fuel right there. We're going to jump on over. Connor Willis still out on track. But if you look down in the lower left-hand corner, you're going to see the top speed of Connor Willis hovering around 167 miles an hour. No wonder why he needs to stop for fuel. That is going to be a thirsty engine at those speeds. And here comes Connor Willis. All right, we are going to find out. He is entering the pits right now. He's going to be headed for fuel. As we pull up the current standings, let's see if Anzaldi can capitalize. So all eyes are going to be on the gap right here between Connor Willis. He is now stopped for fuel. And it looks like he is back out. So we got to find out where Anzaldi is out on track. And as the minutes are winding down. All right, with just seconds remaining, it appears that Connor Willis is going to win this race, as the checkered flag should be coming out. 50 minutes have expired. That was a close one, folks, with Connor Willis needing to pit along with Samuel Bowman as well.
All right, folks, that is going to do it. Once again, congratulations to all of the finishers, but uh, big shout out goes to Connor Willis for his overall victory. Mike Anzaldi for a great race. He was very smooth, very consistent, and he's going to be getting some championship points. Brian Helmentoller was able to sneak into third place, and Samuel Bowman in fourth, with Mantis in fifth. So, once again, thanks for joining us, folks. Don't forget to check us out in 2 weeks' time where we head over to Suzuka and race in the Radicals. So be sure to check us out then. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great night.